Welcome ladies and gentlemen to a brand new video. One thing that has always been apparent in the longevity of League of Legends has been the innovative nature of the players to always find new styles to play. From TP Carthus to players like AFK Zillion in my previous video. And for me, it's always a good idea to shine a light on these types of players, to understand and question if the ends justifies the means if you end up winning the game with a distinctive style. Recently, a new one was brought to my attention by Redditor Ramaru, who recently won a ranked game in Platinum 4 on EUS with a Tryndamere top lane who finished the game 0-8-0. There is, however, more to this than meets the eye, as upon further inspection, the Tryndamere in fact dealt 0 damage to enemy champions. Yes, that's right. 0 in a 36-minute game. But if I told you he was actually a key factor in the team winning the game, regardless of this method potentially viewed as trolling, you would be shocked to find out that this was in fact the case. So join me as we take a look at the legend of the 0 damage Tryndamere. Now, starting off, it is as you would expect. Whilst laning against Renekton, he doesn't attack his lane opponent a single time, going as far to never use his spinning slash in proximity of him and not even misclicking once to auto-attack him by accident, which personally I believe is an achievement in itself. Whilst his teammates were dying around him in other lanes, he was simply farming his waves, only dying from a consecutive gank from Graves and not being solo killed by Renekton himself. The section in which his impact starts to become apparent is the second which the laning phase begins to end, which is when the split pushing factor of Tryndamere comes into play. With a sole focus on only minions and towers and nothing else, plus the strength of the item Hullbreaker and the Demolish route, he starts to become a real threat, and in each death, there is no actual value towards them killing him, with no kills or assists resetting his gold amount to 300. With all these factors, he becomes a constant annoying thorn in the side of his enemy, all whilst being effective when they decide to lose focus and not deal with the threat that he presents. This partially comes down to the macro of the player himself, as he effectively would not show himself on the map, then appear and strike the opponents when they would least expect it. And eventually, after doing this time and time again, the objective's advantage became too much for the enemy to contain. The game ends with Tryndamere, who again hasn't done a single bit of damage to enemy champions, pulling the attention of the enemy Kai'Sa to defend the base, eliminating her from being able to participate in the teamfight. This would allow his team to win the teamfight in a 4v4 without their ADC present, ending the game and securing the victory with a grand total of 0 damage made. Now, some things that I want to note are the following. Yes, his team were the most important to the outcome of the game, as well as noting that I do believe he did it partially with the idea of trolling, as before this game, he had gone on quite some loss streak and was probably tilted by his previous games. One thing I will say is he wasn't straight up trolling and was still a huge factor in the end of the game's outcome, as regardless of his playstyle, he ultimately used his macro knowledge to support his team in winning the game through objectives. Plus, he did try teamwork based plays like tanking this tower with ultimate so that Lilia could dive, which she doesn't because she has no clue what he is doing, but the intention is clearly there. What do you think? Is he fully just trolling, or is there a logic to his madness? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. And as always, I'm Right Intel, and I'm out.